All right, today we're checking out the Lectric XPedition 2.0. So the last time we tried out this bike was in Arizona a couple months ago, and we only had it for, I guess, half a day. Now that we have more time with it, we can get more in depth with the features. It is winter in Michigan, although today is unusually warm.
Yeah, I think it's like a high of 43 or something today, so not too bad. Warm for us.
Yeah. I believe we have all the accessories that come with this thing, yeah. We got the raindrop blue color.
Nice, they give you little QR codes to help you put stuff together, all the manuals and everything. I'm sure it brings you right to the page on their website. So let's start opening some stuff up here and see what we got going on.
Lectric, really solid company, a lot of good people working there. No surprise that this thing is packed very securely.
Some companies definitely take more time packing the bikes than others. All right, so let's start opening some boxes here. Bag, got pedals. Yes, we have a charger.
Front wheel.
Yep, nice. It's actually inflated too, it feels like, most of the way at least. So here we have the, I'm assuming the rear seats.
Suspension seat.
Running boards for the rear, nice quality.
They also sent us the dual battery option, and we'll just continue unboxing this thing and do the assembly, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, today we're checking out the Lectric XPedition 2.0. So a couple of months ago, we reviewed the Lectric XPedition 2.0 in Arizona. I think this was in October, but the weather was like over 100 degrees. We only had a couple of hours to review it, so this is sort of like a follow-up review, but we have a little bit more time to ride it and to test its functions. But on first glance, this is, yeah, pretty much very similar to the prototype that we rode in Arizona. It's the long raindrop blue aluminum frame. There's a couple of accessories that came with this bike that we'll point out that we didn't get to test in Arizona. And some features are these cushions. You also have these snap-in running boards for, you know, passenger comfort or cargo support. I think the wheel shroud wasn't on the bike that we tested, so this is basically the final version of that. Some vents over here to prevent passengers from hitting the spokes or the motor. We also have this frame bag, really good for storage. Coil spring suspension seat post, so this adds a little bit of suspension in the rear. And we also have this Lectric Elite headlight, which is supposedly brighter than the stock headlight. So now let's just walk through all the features of the Lectric XPedition 2.0. So here we have the 20 by 2.5 inch street tires. This is a really good size for maneuverability. I think the size is pretty similar to the XP Lite, and that's a really fun bike to ride around. We also have the hydraulic disc brakes with a 180 millimeter rotor, and then the Courier dual spring 50 millimeter front suspension fork with the preload adjustment. You also got the integrated front fender, and like I said, the Elite headlight right here. You also have these front mounting points in case you wanted to add a front basket. It is a step-through design, so this should accommodate most riders. And we added a frame bag over here for extra storage. Saddle seat is pretty much the standard Lectric saddle seat, plenty of cushion. We also got the suspension seat post here, which gives you just a little bit of suspension if you're riding over rough terrain. We also went with the long range version, which comes with these dual 48 volt, 17.5 amp hour UL certified removable batteries. Here's where they have the electric controller. You also got the running boards over here, and there's kind of like a quick release button down here if you want to take them off. Integrated rear fender or wheel shroud, hydraulic disc brakes in the rear. These cushions up top, so this is perfect for passengers in case they want to ride in the back. And you could also strap on a milk crate in case you want to transport some cargo. You also have the integrated taillight with the brake functionality. That's a nice touch. And then back here is the 8-speed Shimano drivetrain. You also have this rubberized pad over here to protect the frame from the chain. And you also have a quick release axle right here in the front. Up top we have the foldable stem for transport. This also has an adjustable latch to change the angle of the bars. Ergonomic rubber grip. We got the left mounted thumb throttle, display controls, and then the center mounted color LCD display. And then you have the Shimano 8-speed shifter. Might be hard to see, but you have a 750 watt rated, 1310 watt peak hub motor. It also has a custom pedal assist torque sensor with something called Lectric PWR. It has a very natural power delivery when you're pedaling. This also can reach a top speed of 28 miles per hour, but we did have to unlock the display in order to do that. Here's a look at the dual leg kickstand. The way this works is you kind of have to like push it forward to flip the kickstand up and then push it backwards to flip the kickstand down. And obviously the most important feature on this bike is the really long rear rack. This is a really popular vehicle for utility. It's really the perfect kind of bike for where I live, near a lot of grocery stores, restaurants, and farmers market. And the total weight of this bike is 83 pounds. So now that we've gone over all the features of the Lectric XPedition 2.0, let's take it out for its first ride.
Lectric XPedition 2 features a raindrop blue aluminum frame that's extra long and built to handle plenty of cargo. Despite its size, the bike manages to keep things accessible with a step-through design, making it easy for riders of various heights to hop on and off without a struggle. With a foldable stem, the XPedition 2 strikes a balance between portability and size. The frame's integrated rear rack is a highlight. It's extra long and sturdy enough to carry heavy loads, whether you're packing for a camping trip, hauling groceries, or riding with kids. And the extra wide kickstand is a nice touch, making it feel stable and secure when parked, even with a heavy load. The XPedition 2 brings some decent power with a 750-watt rated, 1300-watt peak hub motor that has a custom-designed torque sensor from Lectric themselves. This setup makes for a surprisingly responsive and smooth ride, whether you're accelerating or tackling hills. The bike's left-hand thumb throttle and 5 levels of pedal assist let you control that power, and it's got a top speed of 28 miles per hour, which is plenty for urban commuting or open road adventures. But where the XPedition 2 really shines is in the range department. Equipped with dual UL certified 48-volt, 17.5 amp-hour removable batteries, Lectric claims the XPedition can reach up to 170 miles on a single charge, depending on riding conditions, and makes this model ideal for anyone who needs to go the distance without worrying about battery life. It also comes with a dual-spring, 50mm front suspension fork that helps smooth out the ride on city streets. But for serious off-road riders, it may not absorb the rougher terrain as effectively as a full suspension system. The saddle seat is built for comfort, and the riser handlebars make it easy to ride upright, which is great for back comfort on longer trips. Hydraulic disc brakes provide solid stopping power, essential for a cargo bike that's built to handle heavier loads. And the Shimano 8-speed drivetrain gives you a range of gearing options, making uphill rides more manageable.
Okay, first ride with the Lectric XPedition 2.0. I usually keep my foot right in front of the kickstand, and I just pop it forward like that. I'm about 5'5". It is a step through, so it'll be easy to ride it for most people. We're gonna see how it handles in the cold weather, single digit weather here in Michigan. We will start on pedal assist level 1, no throttle, and we'll just get right into it. Pedal assist definitely kicks in, but it is very controlled and calibrated to the movements of my legs. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's doing too much or too little. On pedal assist level 1, no throttle. We added a little bit of cargo here in the back just to see how it would affect the weight and the center of gravity, and you know, it feels like a heavier bike, especially with the dual battery setup, with the cargo in the back. So pedaling on level 1, you know, it feels heavy, right? Every time you turn, every time you pedal. I do have it on gear 8 right now. So let's bump it up to pedal assist level 2, still no throttle, just pedaling, and that feels way better. Now I feel like the power to weight ratio of the pedaling is really matched with the weight of this bike. There is no rear suspension, so I am feeling everything here on the road, even though this model does have a suspension seat post. It's probably not enough for someone my weight. A little bit of suspension working in the front here, but again, that could probably be a little bit better for my weight. Okay, let's bump it up to pedal assist level 3 now. That feels right for this bike. Now I'm getting a little more speed. Definitely feels like it's kicking more power into the motor with my pedaling. Yeah, I think level 3 is the sweet spot for sure. Okay, let's bump it up to pedal assist level 4 now. Give it a little throttle here, left mounted thumb throttle. And yeah, that is way more power. Throttle is very interesting. I almost prefer the pedal assist. There's a slight delay on the low end, but then once you are moving, the throttle really engages a lot faster. Okay, finally, pedal assist level 5. Okay, throttle and pedaling. Yep. Now I'm standing up here just so I don't feel every single bump in this parking lot. Getting it up to 18 miles per hour. We'll test out the brakes. I'm gonna gather up some speed. Come back around. Full throttle. Full pedal assist. And brake. Now we are in a parking lot that is very, very jacked up. So definitely lots of cracks and bumps in the road. I'm feeling everything because there is no rear suspension on this bike. which is typical for electric cargo bikes. So just one thing to keep in mind, I do have the milk crate in the back. You could load it up with a lot of cargo, should be fine. There is a suspension seat. We got the suspension seat post, and it's kind of working, but you could definitely still feel the bumps on this terrain. Let's try to take it up this hill over here. Woo! And we make it up the hill. And I am on ice, I am on snow. Probably not the best place to be riding this, but it is handling the terrain as best as it can. Woo! Definitely feels slippery riding on this. I am scaring the geese. Just gotta watch out there. All right, let's take it down the hill. You gotta be a little bit careful here. It's a little steep. Okay, and off the curb. No issues. Yeah. Now, in terms of handling, very easy to maneuver. The skinny wheels, the 20-inch by 2.5-inch wheels, make it easy to turn. So maneuvering this thing like in the bike lanes downtown should be no issue whatsoever. Overall, I'm just really pleased with Lectric's lineup, especially the XPedition, especially the XP Lite 2.0. I think they have a 3.0 now. These bikes are just really easy to ride for, you know, both beginners, intermediate people just getting into e-bikes. This is kind of like the perfect bike for that. It will get warmer out here, so this will be the perfect bike to transport cargo, transport small children if necessary, and yeah. Very, very nice. Like I said, this thing is a blast to ride. Super fun when we rode it in Arizona. And we'll take it downtown or ride through the bike lanes. I think that's where this would be more appropriate. For the final retail version of this bike, I think we may have been riding the prototype in Arizona. It's not too different. The features are probably more refined. The wheel shroud over here, this is really great. If you have passengers, they won't get caught in the wheel. So it's kind of like a wheel shroud slash rear fender. The cushioning over here is great for passengers. The dual battery setup, if you're doing some really long range rides, this would be perfect for that. And you also have this frame bag right here in the middle. Tons of room to put all your stuff. You don't have to carry a backpack, you know, you don't have to fill your pockets with things. Yeah, very similar to all the other electric bikes that we've reviewed so far. I mean, they just have their process dialed in, the manufacturing dialed in, that custom torque sensor with the technology that they're using to create that very natural feel when you're pedaling. It's unlike any other bike that I've really tried before. I think they really put a lot of effort into the programming for their controllers. I always recommend Lectric for those just getting into e-bikes. They're just reliable and they have a wide range of bikes to choose from depending on your skill level. XPedition 2.0, once again, a solid recommend.
The initial takeoff on this bike is very good. Even when you have the PAS level down to a level 1 or 2, you get good response. And the throttle is tied to the PAS level, so that acts as a speed limiter, which in some situations can be good. The only difficulty I found with the throttle is that feel or that initial surge in the higher PAS levels can be a bit abrupt, and that can affect stability when you're taking off, especially if you have a child on the back or lots of cargo. It makes for a good feel, and it feels really responsive and powerful. An example is on the way here, we came across an area that had some snow and ice in it, and I was genuinely concerned about using the throttle at those points. The pedal assist is nice and responsive, natural feeling, of course. I believe it is, yeah, it feels like it's torque sensing. Just goes pedaling, lets the power off. This bike is currently unlocked, or actually not unlocked, but it is in the class 3 mode right now, which is maximum speed of 20 miles per hour on throttle only, and a maximum speed of 28 miles per hour when pedaling. This parking lot is a bit on the small side for really stretching its legs, but I was able to get it up to 24 miles an hour without much trouble. There is no rear suspension, of course, which is perfectly normal for a cargo bike. There is some front suspension. It's working. It's not the longest travel, and you do feel the bumps quite a bit. This bike also has the dual battery option, which gives you a huge increase in range. So if you plan on using this for a second car or even a car replacement, you shouldn't have to worry about any situation where you couldn't get to the store and back. Now, it is a very long bike, like I mentioned, but the handling is very good. Most of the mass, the center of gravity, is towards the middle and down low. So it feels very confident and secure as far as the handling. My first impressions are that it's a very capable cargo bike, very strong, very solid. I would have no hesitation to load this up to its limit. The handling is very good despite its long size. The center of gravity is low on the bike, and you can sway back and forth, swerve, and there's no instability problems at all. It does have a front suspension fork, but there's not a lot of travel in it. Suspension seat post, that helps a little bit. You can still tell that there's no rear suspension, but that's normal for a cargo bike.
Looks like I could hit top speed with pedaling and throttle. I don't think I could do it throttle only. Yeah, I'm capped at 20 miles per hour throttle only, but if I add my pedaling, top speed increases, 25-ish, 26, 27, 28 on the speedometer. Oh boy, it is cold here in Michigan. Man, this is the exact opposite temperatures that we tested this bike way back in October. It was over 100 degrees in Arizona, believe it or not. All right, full pedal power, full throttle, going up this incline. Not a steep incline, but okay. And up and over, no problems. I think I'm averaging maybe like 23, 24 miles per hour. Definitely getting a little bit of a workout here to keep it above 20 miles per hour. Now, we reviewed a lot of long cargo electric bikes, and there really isn't like a one-size-fits-all type of bike when it comes to like these long cargo bikes. Either they're too tall, or maybe the center of gravity feels a little awkward. What I like about Lectric's design is that it really maneuvers like a regular bike. It almost feels like their XP Lite just stretched out a little bit more, which is a really cool feeling, because the XP Lite is just like one of my favorite models of theirs, because it's so easy to ride. Going downhill here, full throttle, full pedaling, and I hit about 29-ish miles per hour. This is the kind of infrastructure that I think this bike is probably best suited for, you know. A city with a lot of intersections, with a lot of protected bike lanes, maybe a little bit of riding in the street with traffic, but not a ton. And even if you did, there's enough stop signs and intersections where cars wouldn't be like right up on you. Mostly for like families, maybe some young professionals who like only have one vehicle in the city. It's like the perfect thing because they could do all of their grocery shopping, that kind of thing, without the need for like a second vehicle, and with just like tons of cargo space, right, to transport your goods, things like that. So not a ton of traffic right now. It is Sunday. That's good, but it is getting later in the day, and there's a lot of puddles here. So hopefully our fenders are doing its thing and keeping some of the splash off of us. All right, we're coming up on a incline. So I'm going to use a little bit of pedaling power, a little bit of throttle, right? Make our way up, sort of, somewhat. So Wait for this car to go. And pass. No issues. Gotta be careful here on the parking lot because these cars will just come out and smack you. Not looking. Yeah, and just having the dual battery setup, this is like great for commuting. Could take this for many miles. And especially, like I said, if you have bike lanes, kind of the perfect vehicle for that. No range anxiety whatsoever.
So here's what we like. With up to 170 miles of range, you can take this bike on multi-day journeys without worry. The custom torque sensor makes it easy to handle, offering smooth, responsive pedal assist, and making the bike feel more agile than it looks. And the extra long rear rack and sturdy frame make this bike a perfect pick for hauling cargo. But here's some things to consider. With its 75-pound weight, the XPedition 2 isn't the easiest to lift or transport, so this might be a challenge if you're in a small apartment or need to carry it upstairs. And the bike's size can make indoor storage a challenge, so be prepared to dedicate some space if you're bringing it inside. Overall, the Lectric XPedition 2 is an ambitious bike that's aiming to set new standards in the cargo e-bike category. With its impressive range, custom torque sensor, and built-in cargo capabilities, it's easy to see why this model would appeal to serious riders, delivery workers, or anyone who loves the idea of a long-haul electric ride. It's not the lightest or most compact bike out there, but the XPedition makes up for that in reliability, power, and thoughtful design. So, what do you think of the Lectric XPedition 2? Is this cargo bike what you've been searching for, or do you want more? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next video.